¿Cómo estás, Blockheads?
¿Cómo están, bitches? Spanish language news is here.
I don't know why it makes me think of that scene from Anchorman.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyways, what's up, guys? So today I'm actually riding over to meet up with Anna and Aaron, and we're going to be doing a ride down to Orlando Harley-Davidson South because they are doing a pancake breakfast. So free pancakes, and you get to ride motorcycles. That's a win-win in my book. I'm on the Sportster because Anna and Aaron both own Sportsters. Last time I rode, you know, my Softail, the FXDR, with a couple Sportsters, it was just like really just trying to keep it from going fast. Like I had to slow it down a lot of self-control there. So yeah, I figured take out the Sportster, my OG Iron 883. We're gonna do a route down that way, but that's going to be probably the next video. So this video, I've had a number of you guys ask a certain question. I figured I would answer that question in this video on the ride over to meet them. And the question is, what modifications do you recommend for the Harley-Davidson Sportster? So I know a lot of people are on the channel because of this bike. It's the one that started it all, you know. I've done an absolute ton to the bike in terms of modifications. Stage 1 on there, we've got bars, we've got new cables, we've got relocation on the gauge, new top clamp, tank lift, wire tuck, all sorts of stuff. So yeah, I've had a lot of you guys ask me like what I would recommend basically starting with. So I figured I would address that question since it's recurring. Figured I would make a top 5 modifications to do to your Harley-Davidson Sportster. Now I am going to be riding on the turnpike, which, you know, speeds of 70 plus. So if the wind noise is a bit up there, I apologize beforehand. Bear with me, huh? Anyways, go ahead and roll that intro. Let's get to it. Alright, so top 5 modifications to do to your Harley-Davidson Sportster. So, I'm going to say number 1, it's going to make the biggest impact to your ride quality, is the seat. A lot of people don't think of doing the seat first and foremost, but if you think about it, the seat is your biggest point of contact between you and the motorcycle. So a seat can absolutely make or break enjoying riding that motorcycle. Now they make all sorts of different style seats. You can get solo seats, you can get 2-up seats, you can get ones that are more plush, you can get ones that are more minimal. Springer seats, hell, I wouldn't really recommend a Springer seat. Those are a bit rough. Oh shit, that just happened. Depending on like the riding style you're looking to do, me personally, I just use my Sportster for like around town stuff. Like the whole reason I'm riding it today, it's not like around town stuff, it's a little further out and about. But the whole reason I'm using it today is because, you know, the friends that I'm riding with are also riding Sportsters. But depending on your riding style, you might want something a little more plush, something a little more wide, you know, that's going to be more comfortable in the long run. Ooh, horses. You know, like over long distances. But me personally, I use my bike for just like around town. Well, I use my Sportster for just like around town. So like a run like this is very uncharacteristic of me, but you know, I've got a LaPera bare-bones seat on it, and it does great for around town. I mean, after a while, like today's ride, I'll probably be hurting. There will probably be some times where I stand up and like my butt is numb. I know with the stock seats that they're starting to come out with for a lot of the Harleys nowadays, or like the more modern stuff, are a bit better. They've got a lot of new seats with like the gel inserts, and you know, they're thinking more of rider comfort versus the whole vibe that you used to get was that, you know, stock seats are just terrible. But they're starting to step their game up. So if you're okay with the stock seat, maybe the stock seat isn't something you'd want to do. So the second thing that I would say, let's say the second thing that I would do, and I know there's changes between like the Sportster that I'm on right now versus the Sportsters that they're selling nowadays, but depending on what model your Sportster you have, hell, even if you have one of the more like newer Sportsters, I would look into suspension. That is going to be a absolutely huge upgrade for for your ride in terms of ride quality. Like back there, you know, I'm hitting a couple bumps. I've got my stock suspension on this bike still. It's a 2013, and that was just like their, you know, regular coilover suspension setup. Now I think they're doing emulsion shocks, which you can actually adjust the preload and stuff like that, which I'm going to be upgrading the shocks on this one. Just haven't gotten around to it yet. But yeah, suspension is going to be a huge change in the ride quality and the style of how your bike feels. And I feel like that one's kind of commonly overlooked too, because, you know, people always want to do, you know, bars first and foremost, which, I mean, not a bad thing. Bars do change up the feeling of the bike significantly. Once again, another point of contact for you and your motorcycle. If you have bad suspension, or like if your suspension, you know, bottoms out, or just isn't I don't know, isn't rated for like the style of riding you're doing, your weight limit, whatever it may be, you're definitely going to be able to feel it. Now, there are an absolute ton of suspension options for the Harley-Davidson Sportster. You can get stuff that raises it up quite a bit. You can get stuff that lowers it down quite a bit. Previously, you know, I've gone with lowering just because I like the look of the minimal fender gap over that wheel, you know, how it really tucks it in. But, you know, like I said, I just mainly use mine for around town. If you're going to be going distance, I would probably recommend going up with it so that you have a little bit more impact resistance for, you know, bigger bumps, you know, unexpected potholes, stuff like that. I don't know if you guys watched the video a while back, but I actually talked about how this bike actually ended up causing me to hurt my back. It's not the bike's fault. It's not the suspension's fault. It's the fact that this hole that used to be in this road, it got paved over, and I was like, oh cool, you know, they finally paved it. Well, whenever they paved it over, the hole sunk anyways, and I hit this bump with like all the weight on my bike. This back suspension bottomed out, and that feeling, that, oh my god, it bottomed out, and then it goes into your spine, you know. And so it basically like caused me to think like I had like a very mild herniated disc. Jeez, man, that stuff hurts like crazy. So yeah, suspension, very big important factor. So number 3 mod that I would talk about doing on a Sportster is probably handlebars. You know, we're talking about another point of contact. So, you know, a lot of people change out the bars. You know, some people go lower. I've gone lower with mine. Some people go higher, like these. These are 12-inch Z bars from Harley-Davidson. They're actually Harley brand. And the cool thing about these is that, you know, they're not too low. They're making my seating position much more upright. So I'm not like hunched over like I was with drag bars when I had them on this bike a while back. I mean, you can do all sorts of different bars. You've got, dude, the amount of bars are just endless. Once again, I mean, Sportsters in general are like crazy moddable. But yeah, handlebars, huge one. If you want to go higher, I mean, they've got ones that go like stupid high. If you want to go lower, you can get clip-ons. That's probably the lowest that I've seen, or like keystone bars, like flipped over. Hell, I've even seen people take like their stock Sportster bars and flip them over. That's crazy. I mean, you are really low if you're going like that low with bars. Choose a bar style that you like. Me personally, you know, like I'm a fan of Z bars and like drag bars, just because I like the look of it, you know, like the more chiseled style, the sharper angles. But, you know, a lot of people prefer, you know, apes or keystone bars. I mean, there's an absolute ton out there. You know, I'll post up a picture of a bunch of different bar options. What is that, 3? So we've got seat, suspension, bars. So you guys notice I'm not really getting to performance yet, because I'm just talking about getting the bike to where you enjoy it in terms of like rider comfort. So the next thing that I would recommend is foot controls. So if you've got mids, I mean, this is going to obviously be dependent on how tall you are, but for me, like, I've got these mid controls, and geez, man, I feel very cramped up on this bike. I cannot wait to get forward controls. Miss Block and I are in the middle of buying a house, and we're closing on it here in a couple days. Nice rims, bro. It's very gold. yeah, we're closing on it here in a couple days. And so I'm trying not to, you know, do anything right now. I'm packing up basically the garage and, you know, everything. So, but definitely the next modification that I'm going to be doing on this Sportster is forward controls, faux show. So, I mean, that's just going to make, you know, riding, especially like doing distance, you know, like I don't know, hell, even riding just like to here, you know, putting your feet out here instead of having them here. So it basically causes the ergonomics and your rider triangle to change a lot. So you've got bars that contribute to rider triangle, seat, which contributes to rider triangle, and then foot pegs that contribute to rider triangle, or foot controls rather, not foot pegs. I mean, you can put whatever foot pegs you want on your controls. But yeah, I would highly recommend, if you don't like the mids, depending on what Sportster you got. I know a lot of the Sportsters come with forwards, like the 48 Special, but I know like the Irons come with the mids, and a lot of people buy the Irons as well. So, you know, me personally, talking from, you know, owning a Sportster, I would definitely recommend forwards if you're over, like, I don't even know, like 5'4" probably. So Miss Blockhead is 5'4", and she said she feels cramped up on this. She had a Sportster 48, and she felt better with the forwards on it. So I mean, that's just to give you guys some insight. I would definitely recommend foot controls. Unless you like the ones that you're with, then stick with them. So the fifth and final modification that I would recommend for your Sportster is a performance modification, and it's kind of going to be like, you know, 3-in-1, I guess. I would highly recommend a stage 1 kit for it, because my god, a stage 1 kit really wakes up the bike. It makes it way more responsive. It's not near as sluggish. The big part that really wakes it up is whenever you put a tuner on it. So personally, like for this bike, you know, I've got this air cleaner. A stage 1 kit is basically 3 parts. So you've got an air cleaner, you've got a exhaust, and a tuner, right? So 3 parts, and that's going to be a complete stage 1. A lot of people call that the Harley tax. Basically, it's like one of those things that everybody does to their Harleys, you know. But whenever you do that, you're basically like increasing the airflow through the engine, and it wakes it up an absolute ton. Like with Miss Blockhead's 48, whenever we put a tuner on it, man, it like became a way more peppy bike. And then like whenever I did it to this bike, I can remember going from not having it to like putting it on, and it just waking it up an absolute ton. And it's the same with like the newer bikes as well, you know, like my FXDR. I noticed a huge change after doing a stage 1, and more specifically, like I say stage 1, but I always notice a really big change in the responsiveness and the peppiness to the bike after the tuner. So like I said, I use an FP3 by Vance and Hines. I'll be sure to drop the link down in the description below. On that note, I'll be sure to drop the link to everything that I'm talking about down in the description below. Yeah, I use a Vance and Hines FP3 because it's, you know, you can link it up via Bluetooth. Yo, this person needs to stop riding my ass. Yeah, you can link it up via Bluetooth. You can link it up via Bluetooth and connect it to your phone, and then basically like change the tunes. You can run auto tune on it. You can basically, like, if you change out the exhaust, you can update it. The downside is, I mean, you can't buy them used, because once you pair them to your bike, like, it's married to that bike, so it basically has to stay with it for the rest of the life of the bike. That would be my 5 recommendations, guys. So you've got seat, suspension, bars, foot controls, and stage 1 performance. Them's is my 5 recommendations. Where are these guys at? Are they not here yet? I should probably gas up because, you know, it's a Sportster. Oh, cool, man. It's a nice car. Here we go. Yeah, anyways, if you guys have any questions on those modifications, let me know. Post them up in the comments below. Oh, that's cool. Dang, those rear tires. That's a drag car for sure. Gotta get me some dead dinosaurs. 93 dead dinosaurs. Anyways, yeah, like I said, if you guys have any questions on any of that, let me know. Post up in the comments below. And if you guys enjoyed the episode, be sure to hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon so it sends you notifications of future uploads and activity. Be part of that Bell Yeah Squad. And until next time, you guys ride safe out there, stay vigilant. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.